Mobile gaming is often limited to pretty short-lived excitements, around a Call of Duty Online, a few minutes of Subway Surf, and etc. Open world games, on the other hand, take much more time and effort to make and usually offer a world to explore right at the palm of your hands. In case you've been craving some, here's a list of 13 newly released or updated games of 2023, ready to go for your Android and iOS devices as well. Coming our way from the same developers of Off-Road Outlaws, with a 5 out of 5, literally, on the Play Store. At number 1 we have, since roughly 3 days ago, something called American Marksman. American Marksman over here, you'll see in a second, is a hunting sim, online/offline open world shooter, maybe just about the most advanced in detail compared to anything on the Play Store as a free game. It's actually taking you down about 300 megabytes in storage, I don't even know how, and it's free all the way. What a game. Download over 1 million times in less than 2 weeks. And number 2 from the same developers of GT Spider Cars with like 10 million downloads, a ton of other open world games on the Play Store. We've got over here since a couple of weeks ago a game called Robot Car Transformation. Pretty much a rope hero open world game, but one where you play as, I like to think, Bumblebee. Manage to be a vehicle, helicopter, plane, or just walk on foot as Bumblebee. It's a great game, it's an open world indie game, takes you down about 100 megabytes in size, got a bit of annoying ads, but nothing really you couldn't get over with.
The world has changed.
And number 3, I've actually mentioned this one just a couple of days ago. We've got over here one of the longest awaited open world survival shooters in the mobile gaming industry, an online game in nature going by the name Undawn. Some of you might actually know this game from earlier in the year, going by the name Dawn Awakening. See, Undawn's now officially coming over in about a month and starting a beta in less than a month. You can actually use the links down in the description for further inquiries, and you can actually play this one now unofficially offline. Here's the links. Been out for roughly 4 days now. Download over 500,000 times as an offline game mainly. And number 4, it is Train Sim Pro USA. Probably the biggest game in the list in scale and just generosity. I mean, for 1 gigabyte in storage, here you can literally invest months of your time in this free offline, almost PC quality train sim that may be worth about 20 bucks if it just were in a mobile game. Train Sim Pro just got a new update. This game is now bug free. Additionally, it's also playable free. Sitting on the Play Store with almost 10,000 downloads is a paid game, though, taking up about $3 and a hefty 1 gigabyte storage. At number 5, it's a game called Aerofly FS 2023. I'm pretty sure some of you know there's actually a series of offline flight sim open world games that started life back in 2019 that are pretty advanced in visuals and world scale. FS23 over here is not only a more worthy of a sequel in price, scale, graphics or quality, it's also offering a much bigger part of the USA, and it's also the most bug-free game amongst the rest. Moving on to number 6. Now, we've got once again Static Shift Racing. Static Shift Racing is actually the first job of an incredible mobile game developers. Technically, here's for those of you who missed it earlier this year, an open world racing stunt driving online/offline game. It's actually taking inspiration from games like Test Drive, Need for Speed, and even the recently released Corix. Static Shift Racing is about 500 megabytes in total. It's actually playable for free worldwide since last month and has a 4.5 out of 5 on both platforms. Okay guys, look, Gangstown Story on the other hand, I like to think the best, if not, well, the second best at least, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas clone on the Play Store, which has been out for like 3 years now. The reason the game is here on the list today, as it's not a new game, is just it's got a final finished update that literally got rid of all the bugs in the game, and it can pretty much play it offline on any mobile device as of this week. So just a quick mention, Gangtown Story is quite a bit like Gangsta Vegas. It's about 1 gigabyte in size, and I think playable with a controller. Sitting on the Play Store for a couple of months now, with a 5 out of 5, almost 500,000 downloads already, it is Skylore Fantasy MMORPG. Technically one of the most addicting games I can think of in general that actually is an open world. technically MMORPG in a wider top-down scale, with a storyline and a pool of characters that you wouldn't really want to mess around with unless you're ready to commit for a few months. I know what you're thinking, this is not really an open world game like Grand Theft Auto, but trust me, in its entirety, this game's even more than an open world, but in this format. Now, from a couple of months ago, we have a Spider Vice, Town Rope Hero, man. I mean, you probably know the drill with Rope Hero games if you're into open world, just mainly superhero games. There's everything fine and cool about those indie-made free-roaming shooters, but it's just got an over-the-shoulder camera and it's a little better in visuals. Spider Vice is actually free and takes you down about 100 megabytes in space only. Next up at number 10, I should have probably put this one at number 2 or 3 or maybe even 1, but you see, Eversoul, which I've mentioned only once before, has been around for almost 2 months now and it's already downloaded over 1 million times, almost 5, as a PC to mobile port since last week. Literally the game's now supporting crossplay. I mean, Eversoul's right up there in visuals and gameplay with games like Genshin Impact, Tower of Fantasy that came out a few months ago, except this one's actually got a much more addicting pace and fights, and the music is just wow. Number 11, coming as a first work of this developer, as a top-down MMORPG hack and slasher, guys, set in a huge open world. There's a quick mention over here only, since it's not exactly an open world in Replay, but no less one of the biggest MMORPGs that came out this month. We got over here a game called Extosium. This is actually a NFT-based earn-to-play collecting/exploring game, taking you about 300 megabytes in storage and already downloaded over 10,000 times with a 4.5 out of 5. We're moving on. Been out for about 2 months and already downloaded over 1 million times on the Play Store. We've got over here number 12 a game called Street Dude. This is a sandbox adventure, like building and management action game. A very interesting little concept that once you actually get the hang of it, you'll be quite amazed at how engaging and addicting this free game over here is. Street Dude actually got hints and elements of open world games, or better say management sim and MMORPGs. It's actually playable only online and has a ton of ads, with boy does it actually deliver in Replay.
Let the daggers ring.
And last but not least, to leave this thing over here for once on a great note, guys, Crasher Nirvana just went available worldwide a couple of days ago as a mobile exclusive MMORPG martial arts based. You can probably tell classic style open world exploration, real time. I mean, I'm assuming you all know Ragnarok Online, the 2D top-down MMO. Crash here over here is just an Eastern version of that with great characters, more realistic, more PvP options, and some heavenly music. This game's about 500 megabytes in storage and it is actually awarded by the Play Store as the #1 free-to-play MMORPG of the month.